Okay, so as per the title, you could tell I did win Couriway's 7K NRI, and I did it in a pretty dominant fashion, so to speak. I didn't I didn't win every seed, but I think of the four NRIs Curry has hosted thus far, I think I was the first person to complete every seed. So like in any of the seeds, I never took any deaths, and I always played pretty consistently. So I was always accumulating points over the course of the day. So I finished first before getting into the finals. So I guaranteed myself like that I'm gonna win any tiebreakers, and I think I guaranteed myself top three before the last seed, which is it's a really nice thing to kind of relax on, knowing like okay, I'm in the top three and I have a full seed to just work on the work on the nerves and relax a bit. But honestly, I mean, I say work on the nerves. I really wasn't nervous for this that much because, like I said, like I didn't I completed every single seed, and I think that kind of helped because I did a lot of practice coming up to this because events overall and specifically like speedrunning events, especially hosted by people I'm friends with, are so much fun to play with, and I'm always so grateful to be a part of them. So I wanted to make sure I put in a good amount of time into preparing for this so that I could win and play how I know I should always be playing. And this NRI seed as well is really this is a weird NRI seed because typically if you spawn in a forest, you want to run towards a plains biome because it's a lot easier to look for caves and also get food. It's just everything's a lot more open, so you can see more. And then a forest, obviously, all the trees really blocks your vision, so you're very limited on what you know about the seed. And you would think as well, like you should run to a plains on this, but you do get a pretty quick like three caves. So you just decide to commit to them. And I only get three out of the first cave. That's why I only have shears and flint and steel right now. And I think it's the right play here to just get the shears and flint and steel because you need food and you need blocks, and those are the only two things you're going to be getting when you're above surface. Like you can dig down later and get iron. Like you can make an iron pick later. You really only need it for when you're in the bastion. It's going to be slower, but you only need it in the bastion, and you can get water in a cave with a bucket, and it's just sometime later as well. It's a lot more leniency when with food and blocks you kind of have to get them on the surface. And here as well, I have a spawner in this cave, and there's a skelly and two spiders, and I get hit a couple times, and I opt to make the very unconventional play to hunger reset in the overworld before I've even entered the nether. And I think given the situation, it was a good play because I only have two mutton. There's only two sheep, so I need to really preserve my food well. And then I get three iron here, which was nice. It allows me to get a bucket, but I'm still three iron short. And you'll see in a bit, like that cave that I just ran through, Hax is going to be entering the nether pretty quickly. And this is how Hax got his iron and why he's ahead on a seed like this. He blows up a creeper and it exposes iron. Like, it was just such. Looking back at the VOD and realizing why Hax entered the nether so far ahead of me, it was so frustrating, but at least I understood it. It was Oh my gosh, I think Hax enters the Nether halfway while I'm digging, like halfway through my dig down to lava, or like even just to get an iron pick. And it was just I was so confused in the moment because I mean, from my perspective, you have a cave, you get three iron, and you hit the spawner, then you still only have enough for a bucket, and you're still short on an iron pick. And I think it's like I dig down as well here because I made sure to get the bucket first because I didn't because getting water in a cave is a lot more inconsistent than just digging on iron, as you can see here. So I opted to do that, and I'm gonna just wait to make my iron pick. But you can see Hax is in the nether right now, and I look over and I'm just like so confused. Like I'm just thinking to myself, how in what world is Hax already in the nether? Because it's one thing he's in before I've finished my dig down. It's another thing like I'm thinking he must have somehow dug down earlier and then dug down onto lava like directly, because I like sure I'm at lava level now. I still have to strip mine to find some, and it's gonna take me a bit of time, especially because I'm only just now smelting my iron for an iron pick. Like my thought process here as well was like I'm gonna overlap my iron pick smelt with trying to find a lava pool with the stone pick, and I don't find one in that direction. So I go back here. I go back to my furnace after the 3 iron is smelted. I make a button because the buttons are obviously a very necessary part of speedruns to complete it. But because I didn't have lava behind me, I decided to just go in the opposite direction. I think this is a very I don't know. I've never seen anybody do this, but I was very. This is such a micro choice that I made that I was proud of myself for making, and it works out pretty nicely because in the opposite direction of where I initially dug, I get lava pretty closely after it. So sure, I am gonna be about 2 minutes behind hacks on this seed, but I don't lose that much time to RNG of trying to dig to find a lava pool. I do struggle a bit to get this because this lava pool is above me, and the lava pools above you are really weird because you can't hear. It's like you like can't hear them properly, and there's also another lava source, so it's like I'm digging to two separate lavas, and when like one of them's the cave, like a lava pool cave that I'm in right now, and one of them is like flowing random lava. So it was weird. It's always really uncomfortable to dig to lava pools above you like that. But it was okay. I mean, you can see it's okay. I'm nitpicking over nothing. And as well, like I'm still like I said, I'm like 2.5 2 minutes behind hacks. But I know silver's not in the nether yet, so it's pretty much at this point it's pretty much like me versus Axe. So I know it's a nicer thing for the mental when you see somebody that's behind you, and then you can just focus and like kind of make the matchup simpler on your own mindset. Where it's like, okay, I only need to beat one person on the seed, and I don't need to beat two people, especially two previous playoff winners. Like I like Hacks won his playoffs. He's a playoffs winner. He gets that aura boost from that win over me. And as well with terrain, like you see Hacks entered another 3 minutes ago. He's still not he still hasn't entered a bastion. And I think I make up a lot of time going to the bastion here. And yeah, you see he just now enters the bastion. But as I'm taking this terrain, I don't want to spoil it too much. But my spike was pretty close here. I play this terrain pretty aggressively because I have like 4 stacks of blocks. I'm able to play this pretty aggressively, and the terrain is as well pretty open. And I'm also kind of metagaming it because I know it took hacks so long to enter the bastion. Constantly rescanning because I'm like, is this really this close? Is like, cause I feel like it's close. Like you see here, I like hacks entered the bastion about 30 to 40 seconds ago, and I entered the nether about 2.5 minutes behind. So I already just made up 2 minutes on him on the seed. So I was very confused in the moment how you could possibly get to this slower, but hacks does go to a different bastion, and you'll see the difference in how it affects the seeds because you would think as well with here on like at this pace right now, it's about a maybe 40-second difference overall. But I don't know. I don't want to spoil it. I saw a comment on one of the videos where I kind of like spoiled the outcome of one of like the videos I was doing, and they didn't like it. So I want to work on that to try and like give a level of suspense, or at least allude to some things that I'm doing. But at this point, this is all pretty standard. I do a bastion route called Safe Sug, which I've been doing a lot recently, and I think is a really good route when you are in this right side triple rampart on bridge. You get so many pigs, and it's a really good route. I really enjoy it, and I have a lot of blocks, so I can place as many as I want, and that's always the biggest problem with that route is you need a lot more blocks than normal. But I mean, an RI seed, you should almost never be entering the Nether with less than 2 stacks of blocks. So I know I'm in a really good position. And as well with it being NRI, you're never guaranteed obby out of these chests. And I just get some beautiful, like before I even check trades, I have 16 Avi and I got 2 extra blocks of gold to trade with the pigs. So I know I'm in a perfect situation. And then you see as well, Hacks went to a different bastion. He's already in the fort. He was I pretty much had a 30-second. I was 30 or 40 seconds behind entering the bastion, but now before I even check trades, he's in the fort. And because he went to a different bastion, it's kind of just a luck thing, I guess. But he had pretty much a bastion. He wasted an extra 2 minutes going to the bastion, but he saves probably a solid 30 seconds or 40 or more. I don't even know. He saves a good amount of time back on me for getting kind of lucky with a bastion for his almost second ring bastion. And as well, I got nervous here because like I at this point I kind of know, yeah, Hacks definitely went to a different bastion and he just got a bastion at it. And it's just not much I can do. I definitely got really nervous here because you see this terrain. This is a full wall. This is a complete wall, and this is where I have to go to the fort. And it's I know if I need to win this, I need to really crank. So I just try to force these caves and ravines as much as I can, and luckily it opens up perfectly here. I remember I was really proud of how I played the terrain here as well because it's very unconventional, it's very uncomfortable, and I think I played it really well, knowing I have to go this way, and if I go around too much or dig, I'm just gonna lose time, and then I can't make up the time on hacks to win the seed. And you can see me zooming in. I always have a hard time looking and finding spawners because of the lighting settings I have with my game. I could change it and make it easier for myself, but I'm stubborn and I don't want to do something like that. So I always zoom in extra close to my monitor so I can make sure I don't make some very silly mistakes. And I just go for a conventional double blaze bed. And this from here on out is just going to be pretty simple. There's not much for me to say, so I do want to yap a bit. There's some things I want to talk about, uh, but I do just want to yap a little bit because I know people like some of my mods have said this to me, and I've just been procrastinating this up for a while. I'm finally actually uploading my VODs to YouTube instead of just letting them expire and go into the void on Twitch. So I've been doing that for the past couple days. I have about I can only because it took me so long. I only have VODs going back through August, so it's a little frustrating, but I do have VODs now being uploaded. I'm probably gonna get them all up to date by Wednesday or Thursday as of recording this. So that's nice to get through September and then start through October. But if any of you guys, I just want to say that because if any of you guys want to like look back at VODs or whatever, and you just want to like stay on YouTube because I think YouTube's UI for stuff is a little simpler. Yeah, I have my second channel. I'll link it in the description of this if you guys care. I'll link it. I have a playlist just called VODs if you guys want to look at that. But coming back to the seed now, I've measured my eye. I have a 2200 block blind, which was very concerning to me, is considering hacks entered the stronghold before I even blinded. So I'm thinking it's just kind of over. I really need him to make a mistake, and I go for these aggressive pearls. I hit the ceiling here, and I save myself by placing the soul sand. I think if I didn't place the soul sand, or if I didn't eat the pork chop right before throwing the pearl, I would have died. Maybe not because soul sand's like a weird block, but that was a very scary moment knowing I really need to crank these. I really need to crank this nether terrain to the chords if I want to win this. And I do crank it really well. It's 2200 blocks. It's like almost it's one of the farthest blinds you can get, and I get there to cores pretty quickly. I do kind of mess up a little bit here falling into the lava. I would have liked to kind of stayed up and not fallen down, but now I'm constantly looking over. Like I'm still focusing on my own game, but I'm constantly looking over at hacks to see is he in the end yet? No, he's not in the end yet. And then it's like have another couple seconds. Like I'm in the portal room now because of what I was saying. He went to a different bastion and he had a fashion for it, so he saves time on me. But because he's at a completely different fortress so far away, his stronghold was horrible. He had a mine shaft. He couldn't get a clean spike, and that's just kind of a RNG thing based on luck. It's very weird, but because I just play almost like a completely different seed, I get lucky that end is very, very nice. I hit this also. I'm kind of brushing over. I'm like kind of looking over the zero. This zero was like, this is a pretty impressive zero. I won't lie. It's buried 57 back cage, and I hit 94 because especially with NRI and no reset seeds, there's a dragon is more likely to fly. So I go for those aggressive blocks. I barely get to 94. You saw I was standing in the wrong spot, and I'm luckily it's kind of with NRI. I'm able to win this seed based on luck that Hacks got a poor stronghold. And I remember in the moment I don't even know what I was thinking. I thought I'd be celebrating more, but I just didn't want to celebrate or something because I think I was like kind of stressed out with everything. But I hope this was insightful, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video.